Um, what did you think about the Vietnam War?
I'll tell you, we were so busy farming, and the kids were growing up with the sports and stuff. We didn't have television, so we really weren't very
Up to date on
up to
that
date
sort of thing.
on it. Except at one time Nixon, when he was going through his things, and
Wasn't my cousin Gary Stoop
yeah,
over there?
he was there. Yeah.
And
but
he said they used to build a shower.
yeah, they took a 55-gallon drum and built it on a platform, and the sun heated the water, and then they took showers. That's how they took showers. But something was happening. I got Newsweek magazine, and so I was pretty current on things. But we didn't have television, and something was said about Nixon, and Elaine's mother was a good Republican, and she says, "Huh? How do you know? You don't even have anything. You don't even have television. So how do you know what's going on?" And oh, you were the one. You said, "What do you think, Grandma, about that crook Nixon?" And that's what started.
Tricky Nicky.
Yeah, that's what started it. Yeah.
That was a little later. That was for Watergate?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was after Vietnam. Well,
Yeah.
well, Nixon got elected because he had a secret plan, and he didn't have any plan. And I think I don't know who was president first, him or Johnson.
Johnson.
Johnson was first.
Huh?
Johnson was first.
He escalated the war.
Johnson came after Kennedy.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's right. And I think Kennedy beat Nixon.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then Nixon ran against Johnson because Johnson.
That's Humphrey.
Huh?
Johnson backed out of it. He didn't want to.
Yeah. He had enough with the war. Yeah. And.
So, were you afraid of your boys getting drafted?
Well, Teddy was the only one, and he made the remark that he was going to go to Canada, but none ever came close. And I was eligible for Korea, and I never even had a physical. I had a classification, but I never had a physical.
I thought Howard was close in the draft, and
Yeah.
Howard was close in the draft when it was coming up, and then they discontinued the draft.
No, that was Teddy, I thought.
Teddy was the one that I thought was pretty near ready to
Yeah.
get nailed, but it didn't happen. He said he was going to go to Canada at that time.
Is that what you remember, Grandma? That it was Uncle Ted? I think Daddy has a story about it, though, too.
Well, Cambodia they were bombing Cambodia, and the war was widening when your father was getting close to being involved with it. And I think that's when they started bombing Cambodia. I remember him. He was upset.
I don't ever remember you kids having classifications.
No, I don't think so. I don't know, but
I don't ever remember.
I don't
you
remember.
doing
I don't know whether the boys
Maybe
were
you did,
registered or
but-
not. I don't know. But,
Well, they were registered for sure.
Yeah,
My
I'm the
dad-
only one that didn't have to register.
yeah, my dad was eligible for World War II, and you could get farm deferments. And my grandfather wanted my dad to fill out the deferment. My dad says, "No, if they call me, I'm going." And so he went down to Oldwick, by the banks there, and it was a gas station, and a guy in there was well educated. So he filled out the deferment for my dad, for my grandfather, and my dad I never heard any more about it. But the same guy had a gas station, and we had rationing, of tires, and this guy would fill out all the forms for my grandfather to get tires for the farm equipment. And we had the little orchard truck that was not eligible for new tires, but the lime spreader was, so they were the same size tires. Yeah.
Were there other boys that you knew that went to Vietnam?
Oh, not
Hall.
Vietnam. I
Just
don't know.
like Carl Hall, wasn't it?
His brother Bucky.
Bucky Hall went to Vietnam.
Bucky and what's his other brother's name?
But we lots of friends
The only
went
one I
World
know
War
is
II.
Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was in high school, and then after the war, all of the veterans came back and they got their jobs back, and they were different men when they came back. And we had one teacher, Mr. Norite, and he was a general business training teacher and practical mathematics, and he came back and they were lost. They didn't know, they weren't ready. They didn't know what they wanted to do with their lives at that point. And so my sister took practical mathematics with him, and they were written problems, and she would bring them home. My father would figure them in his head, then they'd work backwards to figure out how he got it, and then she'd go back in the next morning, and the teacher didn't know how to do them. So he'd call on Joyce to tell us.
Go up on the blackboard. She had
Yeah.
to write it out.
Yeah, and
Explain how they got
and
it.
that teacher was from Long Valley, and every time I would see him in the drugstore or something, how's your sister Joyce? I mean, he never forgot her, And then we was only two of them in the one-room school, Joyce and Billy Blair, and Billy would copy my sister's work, look over her shoulder,
Yeah.
and so she'd come home and he's always doing that. My mother and father, I don't know which one, said, make up 2 sheets. One with the right answers and one with the wrong answers. Let Billy copy the wrong answer. To this day, he never understood how my sister got A and he failed it.